Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Sean from Seller Smart, and if you're new to the channel, we are building an ecosystem for Amazon FBA sellers in the UK. In this video today, we're going to go through manual sourcing on Qogita. We actually have Qogita integration into our software, and we're about to release that into the first beta test group. But I wanted to do a video for people who want to source without software and keep their costs low. And then next week, I'll do a video with the software as well. All right, guys, I'm really excited to show you this today. Do you know why? Because I've recorded this video 10 times, but my mic kept crapping out. So 11th time's the charm. Right, so the first thing you want to do in Qogita, you want to go to your settings up here. You want to go to profile, scrolly until you get to this section here. As an Amazon FBA seller, you only want to buy from Qogita with these two settings enabled. That means whatever supplier you buy from, they'd be willing to prove their supply chain. So if Amazon ever gives you an IP complaint or an authenticity complaint or something, you'll always have the proof of supply chain. We just had a live call with Charlie from Qogita, and they're actually adapting their invoices to be as easily readable by Amazon as possible. And they also have an inside contact in Amazon Italy who handles all of the invoices, and he's confirmed that the invoices they provide are definitely legitimate. So if you're concerned about that, don't be. It's a really great platform. If you're buying from Qogita to ungate products and you have issues, that's Amazon seller support being bad, not Qogita. So let's get into the sourcing. The first thing I'm going to do when I come in, Qogita is a wholesale platform, which means the prices you see are excluding VAT. So everything you see in here is going to be 20% on top of that. I'm just going to right click, hit SaaS. I have my SaaS panel on the left, and I think it's heresy to have it on the right, because on the right you have all of your coupon and Chrome extensions, so Cooper and everything pop up. They get in the way of SaaS. It drives me nuts. So I always have mine on the left. I've got my SaaS settings. So it has my prep fee, it has my inbound shipping fee, it has my VAT status, and I've told it exactly how much profit I want to hit per unit, and I've told it how much ROI I want to get as a minimum per product. So with that, it knows that I need to buy this product for a max of £8.41, which tells me that this is a multi-pack. Yeah, it's 12. So as you can see, this is actually £1.20. So to buy 12 is obviously more than £8.41. The first thing I'm looking at when I come in here, how many sales per month is it? Is it in the top 2% BSR? Anything outside of 2% probably doesn't sell, so I don't even bother looking. And what is the max cost? I'm not going to look at this one just because I know it's not profitable, and I'm just going to move on to the next one. A lot of this video is going to be me demoing what I'm looking at, so I might explore brands that I probably wouldn't when I was actually sourcing, but it's just because I want you to hear my train of thought when I'm going through stuff. So this is actually saying I would need to get paid to get this one to sell it cheap enough, so that's interesting, probably because of my prep fee or something like that. So we move on. I think it's going to be the same for this one. So this is 74p, 3% BSR. Yeah, that one doesn't sell. I'm not going to stick to Oral-B because I've already gone through on Qogita and I know I couldn't find anything. So I'm just going to go straight to fragrances and try my luck going down the list. Let's go with Eau de Toilette, Versace. I actually used this product on a social media short we did as an example. So 27.74, 27.59. So it's close, but because of the tax, it's not going to be good enough. But one thing I want to stress to you guys, have a routine for everything. Have a system. Sourcing is all about systems and efficiency. So for me, what I do is I always have the product URL in this tab here, the main one here, and then I open Amazon and I have Amazon on the right. The reason I do that is because I have hundreds of tabs and I don't want to be constantly looking for the tab I'm looking for. I want to know exactly where I put it every time. I used to be a delivery driver. It was the exact same thing. Put your keys in the same pocket every time. Put your phone in the same pocket every time. That way you don't have an absolute nightmare thinking you've lost the keys when they're just in the wrong pocket. Okay, so this one, it is less than 30 sales per month. With Qogita, I actually aim for 50 sales as a minimum. That's just my personal preference. 30 is fine. But there are a lot of people who source on Qogita, so you do have to play the game carefully. You need to be very careful with brickers. So I like to work with products that sell faster. If the ROI was ridiculously high and it didn't look like competition was going to join me on this, then I might consider less than 30. But the team and I at Seller Smart have all tested high ROI, low sales per month products. They're great in moderation, but when you fill your entire catalog with them, you get really bad cash flow issues because your cash is just held up by products that don't sell. We go to here. So the MOV, the minimum order value, this supplier is saying I need to spend £550. To a lot of people, that's going to sound really high. To a wholesaler, that's actually not bad, to be honest. And if I go down, I can see that I can get it relatively similarly priced, £450 MOV here, but the price is much higher. So let's just say I did want to get this for £27.74. A lot of people don't realize you can do maths in SaaS. So £27.74 times 1.2, boom, £33.29, 7% ROI. Well, not profitable enough for me. I'm just going to scroll down anyway. If you look where my mouse is here, if I hover over this box here, it will tell me the average 30 days, 90 days, and 100 days. So the last 30 days, this product's been 49.59. Let's actually see what that would be. So still very low. This isn't a product I would buy. But what I can do is I can go down to Qogita's price history, and I can see that this actually sold for £25 at one point. So let's say it was £25 on the dot, and I times that by 1.2. Okay, so some people have a minimum ROI of 20% and a minimum profit of 10%. I would personally not aim for that with these low sales per month. Again, if the product was going to sell quickly and you were going to get your cash back, 20% ROI is okay sometimes. In this instance, it's not. But what I can do is I can set a price tracker to let me know when this product is £25 again, or I can come down to here and I can set a keeper tracker to say, hey, when this is more than a certain price, alert me. That way, if Qogita goes to 25 and this listing goes to 50, maybe that's a good time to buy it if the sales per month were high enough. But as I said, they're not on this one. Some people watching this might buy it, to be honest, but you got to gauge your risk tolerance, especially when I'm putting this on YouTube and it's a slow seller. Right, so we move on. I'm going to speak out loud just so you can hear what I'm saying. $13.99 max cost, $15.99, not good enough. So $45.25, $42.26, not good enough. 100 ml. So with fragrances, always check the milliliters. And with Qogita, you don't want to go by the images. You want to go by the GTIN, the GTIN number, which I'll show you in a second. So 34.68, 100 ml. Is that the same product? Let's open it and find out. I'm just clicking this button here to open it in Amazon. Let's check so we got the GTIN code here. It ends in 1100. And we got the EAN here, 1100. What I can do is Control F or Command F if you're on Apple. I can search the GTIN and it will highlight it in SAS for me. Sometimes it might be on the product as well, but this is 100 mils and this is 100 mils. Hugo Boss bottled eau de toilette for men, eau de toilette for him. So it's, different title, but I mean the title here is going to be different because it's all SEO optimized for Amazon. So okay, what was the price here? The price was $29.18 and it was a 300 MOV, which means you're going to have to buy, what is that, 11 of them? Have I just embarrassed myself on the YouTubes with my terrible maths? No, there you go. Okay. Okay, $29.18. We continue. So $29.18 times 1.2, $35.02, 28% ROI, 16% profit margin, £10 profit, 600 sales per month, and a max cost of $34.68. So you can see this is actually saying I need to buy it cheaper than what I'm actually buying it for when I add tax. But my individual profit margin target is 15%. And when this product sells this quickly, I would probably go down to 10% because if I buy, depending on the competition, and if I'm allowed to sell this product, it's going to sell fast. I'm saying all of that knowing that I'm not allowed to sell this product. Yeah, there we go. But again, I'm just demonstrating for the purposes of this video. So this is a pretty strong indication that this is a risky product. Yeah, look at that. So if I click all to see the history of the product, there were a lot of sellers on it. And whilst these sections here are kind of going up and down, they're like a staircasing. So it's not an indication of an IP risk. Whereas if I go to all time again, you can see the drop off here is pretty intense. So what is that? That's 34 sellers. Just going to zoom in one more time. 34 sellers all the way down to 1. So yeah, that flat line drop off is an IP risk, which means you can't sell this product. So that's a good sign. You can add this to your IP list, boss. Well, maybe it's not the whole brand. Maybe it's just this listing. You have to do your checks, but we can't sell this one. But in terms of metrics and stats, that would be a really good product if you could sell it. We move on. Let's go for this Versace one. Nope, 34.88, 31.46, £30, 11, 25.63. £40, 22. Nope. Okay, so this one is 44.97, 100 mils, Hermes. I always thought it was so funny that a luxury brand was basically called Every. Right, 75.75. Wow, okay, that's a very high MOV. Very high MOV. Okay, so this one's also an IP risk. Oh, it makes sense. It is Hermes. Although, I say that, this might be one of those times where the brand Hermes might IP, but this listing doesn't really appear to be any big drops. I might be wrong. Like, obviously, you'd have to do your check, but they do kind of staircase rather than sudden drop-off. So maybe you could sell this product. Obviously, with the MOV, minimum order value, I would never risk it on even £300 is, depending on your capital, that's a risk, isn't it? So 47.63, max cost 44.82. Yeah, so price wise it's not good anyway, but a good little indication of a brand that you could potentially sell on it without getting issues. But always add the product in Amazon Seller Central before you buy. It's a good way to avoid wasting your time and your money. Okay, so this is something that Charlie mentioned in the live call. Qogita's just added this functionality where you can actually upload a list of the products you want, and then it will see if they have them in the category for you. So if you click upload list, you can download a template here. This is how it looks. So you add the GTIN of the product, the quantity you want, and the maximum price. That's optional, and you can feed that into this. So really great functionality. They're constantly keeping up with innovation, and yeah, just overall is a really great platform. I've got nothing but good words to say about it so far. This one price wise is close, so I'm gonna have a look. £22, really high MOV, and yeah, they've got a lot in stock. So something you also want to look out for on Qogita is if the product doesn't sell that quickly and the supplier has loads of stock, then that is a risk that the product's going to brick, because there's going to be other Amazon Qogita sellers on here. So let's say this product sells 100 times a month and the supplier has 800 in stock. That to me is risky, because if I buy 50 of them and loads of other people buy the rest of the stock, that's brick city, isn't it? There's going to be a bunch of people crashing the price to try and win their share of the buy box. So you just have to play it safe. I will try to buy out the stock where I can, and I'll even message friends and say, hey, do you want to buy this out with me completely, just to play it safe. That's not a guarantee though. Like all of this is do your own checks, because obviously the supplier that sold out to you might have just restocked anyway. So that's just one of the strategies we implement. But you know, you have to do your checks. Nothing is guaranteed in life. So £10.49. Let's have a look. Yeah, not good enough. Only got one historical seller anyway, so it's not a brand we can sell, and when people join they get kicked off. So we continue. I said this in the live call, but when I started getting into wholesale, I was working in front of my PC for 12 hours a day for 2 months before I finally found a supplier that would work with me as an Amazon FBA seller. Anyone who's done wholesale for a little while, you'll know that wholesalers, distributors, they hate FBA sellers. You have to think about it from their perspective. If they're working with brands and they want to keep the brands happy, if they're selling the products to Amazon sellers who crash the price, the public perception of the brand means that this product that usually sells for 50 quid, on Amazon I can get it for 20. Why would I buy it from the high street at 50? The brand loses value. So I understand why they hate working with Amazon sellers. If you're trying to get into the wholesale game, you've got to be smart, and Qogita is a much faster way to do that. So I spent 2 months of 12 hours a day in front of a PC before I found my first supplier. The first time I used Qogita, I found a product within an hour that made me money. So whilst it's not perfect, nothing in life is perfect, it's damn good. It's damn good, and they're constantly growing and innovating it. So if you can be quick and find really good leads and get all of them, get in and get out, it can be fantastic. And I'll give you another story from Cowan, our team. He spent about 45 grand on Qogita in the last few months, I'd say. He managed to get a product that was on a price crash for £2, and he sold 1,000 units in, I think it was a week. And the product was like 150, 180% ROI. It was insane. It was such a good find. So, you know, pays the bills for the next few months, doesn't it? You just got to be fast. 35, 85, 50 times a month, 1% BSR, Carolina Herrera. I think that's the one we just checked, isn't it? Where we can't sell it. Okay, this one. So the brand was unsellable on the other listing, but this one has some drops, but they're not sudden. They're staircase. Okay, so potentially this could be one that you sell, though to be honest with you, I wouldn't, just because it's been trending downwards. Hold on, let's check where we're at in the last month. Okay, actually in the last month it's been steady. Has it been trending upwards? No, it's been steady, and I take that back. Actually, the price has been pretty stable. So what was this? This was 35.85. So it's not profitable enough, but when you're reviewing your keeper listing, a steady price like this is a really good sign. It's a really good sign. So that's the kind of thing you want to look for, and sudden drops off in the offer count is what you want to look for. So I'm going to keep moving on. Which one was that? Let's go for this one. 1761, 2362. Let's see if it's the same product. Move my Amazon tab over there. 0284. Massive MOV here. So 1782 here, or 1761 here for 350 MOV. They've got 2000 in stock though, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, you got to be really careful with that. But let's come over here. So what did we say? 1761. I think I might have checked this one before. 50 times a month, check. No IP warnings in SaaS, check. Max cost $23.62 and I can get it for $21.13. The GTIN code ends in 0284 and the EAN ends in 0284. DKNY Women Eau de Toilette 100 mil. DKNY Women Eau de Toilette. Is this going to say 100 mil? Let's have a look. Doesn't actually say it on the list, but it says it up here, which is weird. Wait, did it say that? Interesting. It says it in the title up here, but not over here. So this is selling for $41.99 and we can get it for $21.13. It's 1% BSR. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, promising. There's no sudden IP drop-offs, which is really good. There's a slight drop here, but it's more staircase. It's not a flat line, so that's promising. Let's have a look at the buy box. So the buy box is inflated right now. So when I say inflated, I mean the last 30 days is £36.7 average. The last 90 days is 33. You can see it's jumped up here. So here it's more expensive than it was historically down here, and even more so over here. So this goes as low as 30.23. Let's see what the break even is 30.27. So let's say the price is going to sell between anything probably around 33 to 36 pounds. Okay, all right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say when I was first looking at this, the price was actually 41.99. So I'm going to set that back. So looks super promising here. That's really good numbers. The supplier having 2,000 in stock, no bueno, that's not so good. There's been a trending down off account, which means the price is probably rising, which is why it's risen here. You can see these white blocks here. Amazon have actually run out of stock in these windows. Amazon run out of stock quite frequently, but they always get it back in stock. So the price that you're seeing up this end, $41.99, it's there now, but it's not guaranteed to be there. And if you look at the average price was between 33 and 36. So if it sells for this, that's fantastic. It's more likely to sell for this, which isn't a loss. So as a gamble, it's a good gamble because you're still going to make money if the price goes back down. But let's say it does sell for that. It's 45% ROI, 50 sales per month, trending down off account, 25 keeper drops. And if you look at the monthly sold on keeper, it says 50 sold here, 100 sold here, and 200 sold there. Let's look at the offers. So Amazon and Perfume Direct. Buy box is shared between these stores. Has a history of other brands coming on it. Okay, well, this is one that I have never tracked DKNY, so I don't know if you can sell this or not. Maybe someone in the comments can say if you're allowed to sell this brand or not. You could try adding the ASIN into Seller Central and seeing what happens, but potentially that's your first lead. Whenever you're unsure about the sales per month, if Amazon says it here, go by that because that's their numbers. If you're really unsure, set your filter here to a month and then manually count the sales rank drops, and again go by sales rank. If the sales rank is really high and you don't see any drops, it doesn't sell. Could potentially be a lead there. Okay, so now we found a potential lead depending on if you can sell it. Just before I end the session today, I just wanted to give the last tip for Qogita. So they have implemented tiered pricing, which means if you are willing to spend £9,450 with this brand, you can get it as low as $16.75. That's pretty cool. But let's say this product sells 50 times a month, and let's say it's shared. Let's come down to SaaS. Okay, so let's say this product sells 50 times a month, and let's assume that we can sell it just for the sake of this. You know, depending on how much stock you want to have, let's say you want to have enough stock for 2 or 3 months. Most people get for about 1 to 2 months. But with 50 sales per month, you might want to get, depending on the sellers, you might want to get between 20 to 40, depending on your test. Some people might want to get a lot less. It just depends on how much capital you have. So if that was the case, let's say I wanted to get 20 of these. If I hit this to the basket, I have actually hit my MOV for this supplier. But let's say I wanted to do it with this one. So I've hit my minimum MOV for this one to get it at this price. But let's say I wanted to get it for this price and I wanted to keep sourcing. I could now go to this supplier and look through their specific listing. The little icon here tells me that they're a marketplace invoice and that they will provide supply chain if Amazon asks for it. The settings that I showed you at the start of the video, I will only see suppliers that prove supply chain. So it's good to see it, but if you want to just see what's out there and if you're willing to take more risk, this is what you want to look for to just know if you're getting marketplace invoices or not. We've hit the MOV for this one. Let's say I just wanted to explore this guy's catalog more. I can see more Hugo Boss. So I can start going through 2364. I'm assuming because I found 2 leads in a row, that means Hugo Boss is not sellable, but this is just demonstrative. So this sells 800 times a month. This seller is selling it for $23.19. You can get it for $21.91. Remember, if you have more capital and you wanted to spend more money, we're aiming for $4,750 from the supplier. So that's $21.91. So I'm going to add 2191 times 1.2, 26. So that's a 13% profit margin. Sells really quickly, which is really great to see. Let's go down. So we can't sell this product, and you can see that this brand used to be sellable in arbitrage because of all the sellers on it, but I'm assuming it changed and it went from 11 down to 1. So yeah, okay, so this is a listing that you definitely can't sell, but let's just say again that I was going to, if I got, this sells 800 times a month, so if I got 300 of those, for example, put those in my basket. Okay, so we've come into the checkout here. You can see my MOV has been hit. The total order value is £6,909. You can see the tiered pricing has kicked in, so it's not 1782, it's now 1684, and it's the same here. Again, I'm not going to buy this because it's not sellable, but this is what you would do to get that tiered pricing. If you're sourcing over 4 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour, if you find a product that is really great but you can't hit the MOV, just keep looking through that specific supplier and just be very careful that if there's a lot in stock, other people might join the listing and brick. So if you sign up with Qogita with the link in our bio, you get €100 off your first order, or you can use code SELLERSMART100. If you're interested in signing up for the software in beta, there's also a link in the bio to sign up to the waitlist, and that's completely for free. Really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope it was helpful. If you're struggling with FBA in any way and you want to see any specific content, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to help. YouTube thinks you're going to like this video, and we'll see you next week.